Here's the video on working with a candy still life. So before I started this video, a couple things that I did is I took a picture of my subject matter. I controlled the light source with the lamp. I set up my different objects. My goal was to have a variety of different kinds of candy with different textures, making sure that at least one of these has a wrapper so I could practice with that reflective plastic texture. I even liked a little bit of the sugar that was on the bunny peep here, and then a couple of peppermint candies. So once I printed that out, I've chosen to work 6x8. So nice thing about working small is you can really spend the time building up that colored pencil, because I know that takes a while. So working a little bit smaller, I went ahead and took one of these old laminated sheets that you can use for papers. I took it and I traced my 6x8. I even put a box, since this was 8 across, I did 4 and then 6 going this way, divided it by 3. So that kind of helps with proportions. I recommend that. You could just leave the box. Some people just take the photo and kind of wing it. I like kind of working with my proportions accurately because I want to get what's here. I want to zoom in. This is the balanced composition that I want what's in this box. So that's why I do it that way. But these tools can help with the measuring to get it a 90-degree angle. And then I taped this down so I have that over top of my picture and I could remove it if I needed to. I like working on toned paper when it comes to colored pencil because especially if I have a lot of reflection, I like to be able to see the white when I put it on the paper. And so the bright white drawing paper sometimes is not my favorite choice. So I picked a light gray, and a couple things I have out are my colored pencils, a drawing pencil, mechanical pencil, white charcoal, and a white gel pen. And I don't know if you can pick up on the light lines here, but I did trace out my box. Just like I did on here, I recreated that very lightly with my graphite pencil, actually even using the mechanical pencil, just because I know when I'm using colored pencil, if the paper is dented from some of these grid lines, it can show up in my, when I apply color. So very, very lightly use the graphite pencil. So first thing I'm gonna do is sketch out my composition. There's kind of a glare from the light, so I'm going to kind of hold it up a little bit at an angle. And I'm just going to I start like in the center of where I have my my plus sign here. And I'm just going to take some time to kind of slowly sketch that out. I'm looking at angles, like how much space is in between this bunny ear and this edge of my composition. So I pay a lot of attention to that. Also where things line up based on this line, even proportions, looking at the body angle here, it's looking at it from above, looking down. So there's a slight foreshortening where the body is going to get larger as it goes up just because of the proportions. So checking these things compared to there, checking angles, so like lining up my pencil with the sucker that I have here, and then kind of matching that up here. So I'm going to take some time to slowly sketch it out. Some of the things that I'm doing here is I did go and get some other colored pencils because I realized I was missing some key colors. This was a darker blue than what I had in my pack, so I went and grabbed some other ones. But I spent some time sketching out. Instead of spending all the time drawing everything out, I thought, hey, let's just focus on this sucker here. And so now I did put a few highlights for myself. I did use the graphite, and then I lightly blotted it up just because I didn't want that to affect my color, but I could still see those lines, so I know where I'm putting my details. And now I'm just kind of lightly sketching it in. And this gives me a chance to really just start getting to know my subject matter, you know, as far as proportions and color and where some of those highlights and shadows are at. Instead of just diving right in one area, I'm just kind of lightly sketching some of this out. And as I keep doing that, I can keep adding and building up my material.